Now, one of the messages President Putin might have been trying to send was that he could go nuclear using tactical nuclear warheads. All the missiles that he's been using can take nuclear warheads. If he did that again, what should America, what should NATO, what should the West do?
Well, I think one thing that's important before we get to that stage is to increase our efforts to deter him from thinking about it. Putin has bluffed about the use of nuclear weapons before. Every indication so far is that the current talk is also a bluff. But I don't rule out the possibility of nuclear weapons if Russian forces in Ukraine collapsed or if Putin found himself in really dire straits politically inside Russia. And we need to make it clear to him, and we need to make it clear to the people around him in his government so that they can take action before he does anything like that. But we need to make clear if Putin were to order the use of a tactical nuclear weapon, he would be signing a suicide note. And I think that's what it may take to deter him if he gets into extreme circumstances.
He'd be signing a suicide note. Why?
Because we cannot allow the use of nuclear weapons in Ukraine or anywhere else from terrorists like Iran or North Korea, as well as from Russia or China, without the person who was responsible for that decision being held accountable. There are a lot of proposals for destruction of Russian forces inside Ukraine, the Black Sea Fleet and the like, if Russia were to use a nuclear weapon. I don't have any objection to that. They're the ones who invaded Ukraine, but they would not have been responsible for ordering the use of the nuclear weapon. And I think by making it clear, we will levy responsibility on the person who makes that order. That increases the chance of deterring that person from doing it in the first place.
But without being silly about this, we can't reach him. We can't get him.
Well, I don't agree that we can't get him. And I think he knows that. You can ask Qasem Soleimani in Iran what happens when we decide that somebody is a threat to the United States. But the point here is not just for Putin, but for everybody else to say, this is the wrong road to go down. It's look, the basic NATO failure in this war to date is not deterring the Russians on February the 24th. We could have done a lot more before that. We need to up our game in the world of deterrence. Sure. I think we've forgotten a lot since the Cold War.
That's for sure. But to be clear, you're saying that if he did this, if he launched nuclear weapons on Ukraine, America could kill him, could take him out, assassinate him.
I don't think it would necessarily happen the next day, but I think the point is to make it clear to Putin that this is not a free decision on his part. We know who would be responsible for the use of nuclear weapons. We know it would be him, and he will be held accountable.